Welcome folks, fellow indie developers, wannabe indie developers. Today, today we're gonna talk a little bit about the truth about indie development, and you're not gonna like it. You just won't. So the first thing you want to know about indie development is that there is no money for you. It's not a career you take because you can make money. Not anymore. It's 2020, and yeah, basically there are too many games released on the daily, and your game can be the best game ever, the most fantastic awesome game. It's just going to be at the bottom of the second page after 3 hours of it being released. So nobody's gonna care about your game, nobody's gonna buy your game, and if you take a look at the price, everything is always on a discount, and you have basically no chance of making it if you are a solo indie developer and nobody knows you. Now, there is a way to make it, but yeah, it's going to be very hard. Um, the problem is that with so many titles coming out of the blue, out of nothing, and most of these titles, I don't mean no disrespect towards people who make those titles, but most of these titles are just junk. Basically, they are not games, they are prototypes, asset flips. They're basically shooters, like VR shooter that has red cubes in it, something like that, or some depressing stories about some guy having mental issues in like half an hour of gameplay. I mean, there are a lot of games comes out. The chances of your game saying, I mean, if we take a look at Street of Rage 4, came out in May, I believe, the 1st of May, something like that. I mean, that game should have been a huge hit. A huge. I mean, we're talking about Street of Rage. I mean, one of the best beat 'em up of the 80s, 90s, that age. Now, there are better beat 'em ups like Dungeons and Dragons, Shadows over Mistara, and like uh, Kingdom of Dragon's Kingdom, or something like that. But there are a lot of games that fall into the oblivion and do not deserve the spot. Do, do not deserve to be left in the dark. So your game, if you're a solo indie developer, nobody knows you, nobody knows your name, and you are throwing your game into the ocean that is Steam. Now, Steam, I've little bit of background. I've released two games, one on Steam and one on DL Site. DL Site is the equivalent of Steam for anime and hentai. Okay, so you wanna get something like that, games, hentai comics, or simple animes or anime game, you go to DL Site. That's the reference. And let me tell you, first of all, the support is fantastic on DL Site. They have no bots. There is some automated message like, okay, we're taking care of your request or something like that, but they do everything manually. That means that there are people who actually play your game, and they will tell you if the game is suitable for the site or not. And that in and out of itself is a great, I mean, it's a great way to market your site. Having someone real that actually, and you can actually write emails to them and they actually reply to you. They also give you hints or tips if you ask them how to sell your game better. Of course, they cannot do miracles if your game sucks. And then you go on Steam. Oh, by the way, you can post any game for free. They don't charge you anything, unlike Steam. and they take, the amount they take is relative to the price of your game. So if you sell a game for say like $20, they take less than half of the price value. So that means you get $10 for a $20 game, but you don't get to pay the entry fee. Okay, the higher you go with the price, the less they take. That's really up to you. So big companies have the advantage. If you want to release a small game, you want to go with the numbers, and yeah, that works fine. I'm okay with that. I don't care how much a game, a distribution company takes. I don't care that much. I care that actually the distribution company makes my game sell. Now, when it comes to Steam, and the truth is that I released my first game on Steam. I mean, my second game on Steam, which is the first game on Steam, because Project Eva, this is the remake, but the original one was hentai, and I didn't release it on Steam. And when I released my game Space Fighter Rukia on Steam, I had to pay $100 upfront. I had to do everything myself. Okay, I had to set up my page, and in their site all you need to do is simply post them a description of the game. They will automatically translate it to Japanese, and you give them some screenshots. You give them the icon of the game, like the splash page of the game, some screenshots, you're good to go. They handle everything. Okay, and they also advertise your game on their site, on Facebook. And you go on Steam and there's nothing, there's nada. And every game you upload costs $100. You get a token and you get to release the game. Now, the issue with that is that there is actually no quality control. So that means that Valve did open the quote-unquote valve, and everybody can post their shit. Even if it's a shitty game, they're gonna post it. If it's a game that actually lasts 5 minutes, they're gonna post it, and it's gonna clog it's gonna make everything look like a big melting pot of quote-unquote games, if you wanna call them that way, which is very bad. Very bad. So the thing is that you probably won't have any kind of success. Like, for real, you won't. Your game will not sell. You won't even probably break even. And yeah, that's it. And then you have Steam curators. Let me throw a words in Steam curators. Steam curators can be beneficial and detrimental, but you won't even see the you will not see the difference. Basically, I've sent out something like more than 140 requests. You can only hand out 100 requests to Steam curators, but many Steam curators don't even bother to claim the key, so you can remove the key from them and you can distribute the key to someone else. And these people, they're there just for the free games. They get their hands on a game, and that's it. That's the free game for them. The majority of them, like 90% of them, won't even leave a recommend, not recommend, informational review. They won't even post the review. If they do leave a recommend, it's gonna be on their group. They're gonna not leave the recommend on your Steam page, which leads to you not getting any sort of exposure somehow. The price of the games are completely screwed. Basically, you can buy literally AAA game for $5 or €5, depending on where you live. 5. Can you believe that? 5. And the reason is they're always discounted. There's always a discount for these games. You will never ever run out of discounted games. So you release a game and you have to discount the game at the release day to get the attention because if you try to release the game without a discount, nobody's gonna buy it because they can buy a AAA game for like $9. So you're basically fucked. The only way you can get around this, which is not possible if you are a lone indie developer with no resources, no marketing, is to actually brand yourself. You need to participate in the forums, you need to participate in social, you need to do everything, and you need to get a following, and these people will basically market your game. They will buy your game at release, and they will leave reviews, play the games. That's it. You won't make it. So don't be an indie developer unless you are there for the fun. Okay? This is not a viable career option. This is not a viable career choice. You're gonna fail. There is no way you can succeed. Okay? I don't want to be negative, but that's I mean this is a reality. This is a reality check. Okay? You won't make it. Simple as that. Doesn't matter how good your game is, how bad your game is, you will simply not make it. Okay, let me throw this one over here and put it in the props folder. And yeah, you can love your game, you can do everything you want, you will still be destroyed by the competition, the amount of useless junk that you find on Steam. And Steam, let me tell you, the support, I never found any way to contact Steam to ask them question. It's just an automated bot. I had a guy actually leave a negative review and making a video. His review was basically 2 minutes long. He say, oh, the story is boring, but I don't care about story. I do not read the story, but the story is boring. Okay, so that's the type of people who actually review your game. A Steam curator that says that your game is boring without providing any clue as to why your game is boring, why is the gameplay, the story is boring. Someone that presents himself as, I don't read stories in game, I don't care about the story, but the story is boring, and he played the prologue, not even any other mission. How accurate that person can be as a Steam curator, not as a random guy. If a random guy comes and leave that review, I don't care. I mean, it's enough that you left a review, whether it's positive or negative. Of course, I would appreciate a more constructive review, even if negative. Okay, I didn't like the story because the characters are not well developed or whatever. And then you say the gameplay is boring and you play the prologue without even talking about any of the features. How can you expect that review to be taken seriously? So long story short, I reported the review for basically bashing on my game for free, and they removed it. Steam removed the review. This guy complained to Steam, and Steam reinstated the review. What the actual fuck does that mean? How can a company ban a review and then reinstate the review? It's a fucking automated system. Nobody is looking at that. So you got trolls. You also get some. I mean, I got a couple of not recommended out of the. I got 13 curators that review my game. A couple did not recommend the game. Maybe, yeah, a couple. A couple did leave a negative review. One is the guy that I just told you about. The other is a guy that said that the game had some good concept but bad execution. Didn't really elaborate on that. Whatever. Color me impressed. Another guy says it's a good game, but whether it's worth the price entry is up to you. Everything else, people were actually positive about the game. So the game was not bad. Overall, people like the game. It's just that nobody knows the game, nobody wants to buy the game because either I gave it for free or I simply just won't sell it. So the only way I managed to get sales is by actually putting the game on discount for the maximum amount for $1. So can you believe it? I spent a year and a half of my life developing a game to sell it for $1 on discount, and it's the only way your game is going to sell. Okay, I made like 126 net dollars, and I still have not been paid by Steam, which is great, by the way, for a year and a half of work. So if you and my game, by the way, was complex. Like, it was a 2D shooter, but it had, you can look it up on my video. There's a playlist. Basically, it's a looter shooter. You loot items, you level up, you have an end game system, you got new game plus endless, you got different types of ship, different types of mission, and so think about your game that you want to release, talking about the story of some poor child. Think about how it's gonna go on Steam. How much can you get out of Steam? Because I think what we need to have discussion about is how is your game going to perform on Steam? I feel like people are not actually talking about this enough. There's this romanticized notion that, oh, you're an indie game developer, great, you're gonna get a lot of sales, you're gonna be the next Darkest Dungeon guy, whatever. It's not gonna go down like that. Okay, let's get this out of the way. And so the experience is basically that Steam doesn't give a shit about your game, doesn't give a shit about indie games. There is no quality control, there's no barrier that you need to break in order to make it to the store page. Everybody can drop his own shit, like those 3D games where those 3D novels. I don't know if you managed to see them. A fucking novel about a guy, and it's a visual novel with 3D girls taken from some random site. You slap it on Steam and Steam put it on sale. So Steam makes around, let's say 60 games are being released every day, every single fucking day. And I counted it, so I am sure that there are 60 games every day. Every day there is an average of 60 games released on Steam. Do you know what that means? Do you know in a year how many games are going to be put on the marketplace? Games that have no quality. I looked at them. Okay, there are some good games made by companies or by some people, and they are good, but the vast majority of them are just asset flips and shitty, horrible rehash or some stupid game that actually has no meaning. That shouldn't be on Steam. It should be on itch.io or some other indie game site that offers, let's just say, more amateurish game. Not on Steam. Okay? And Steam with 60 game every day, Steam takes $100 every game. That's $6,000 every day, obviously gross without taxes. So Steam makes $6,000 every day. Okay? Do you think that Steam cares about your game? Steam doesn't care about selling your game. It doesn't make that much money out of indie developers. He's got the way to get a lot of money, $6,000 every day, for doing basically nothing, because everything is automated. Okay? There's no reason I should pay $100 to be on Steam, since there's basically no control over games. Everybody can put their shit on, so why should I pay? I made more money by selling Project Eva, this game, not this one, but this is the remake, but by selling Project Eva I made more money in Japan on DL site than by selling my game on Steam, which was even more complex than Project Eva. And you want to be an indie developer? Seriously? Guys, it's a dead industry, okay? It's a dead industry. Unless you have a publisher, all that yada yada, which you probably won't have, it's a dead industry. You can't. Just trust me. You can do something else, okay? Make some anti-games and sell them on the site. Do something else. Either you market yourself and you build a real brand. Good luck, by the way, in 2020, where everybody, literally everybody, has a YouTube channel. Everybody is out for themselves. So nobody is. Oh, by the way, let me not even get into the review magazines and the YouTubers. Nobody's going to reply to you. You ask them, hey, look, I've got this game. Do you want to try it out? And let me know how, if you think this game, blah blah blah, or that shit, or if you can review this game. They won't even bother to reply to you with a no, go fuck yourself. They won't. It's a complete fuckfest. And indie gaming, as in solo indie developers, is a dead horse. Get out of this industry. It's not worth being here. Do something else. Be a freelancer. I don't know, send your portfolio to Ubisoft or some other company. Get yourself a job. Don't make indie games. Do not. Trust me, it's a waste of your time. Okay, if you want to make them, to be the portfolio, to be like, wait, what is this guy? Patrol, that's fine. If you want to make it like, okay, you're going there, fine by me. Patrol this area. You're not gonna make it. That's all I'm gonna say. And the truth is that Steam doesn't care, doesn't have people actually reviewing your stuff. Everything is automated. Okay, that's my opinion, by the way. I'm not saying, I'm not there, so I cannot say for sure that there isn't actually a guy on the keyboard typing everything. But to me, it feels that everything is automated. They don't even read. They don't care about the games. They don't care about what your support is, your support ticket is. There's just nothing. And the people who actually should review your game, the Steam curators, even though they are not obliged to review your game, they're useless. They're there for the free games, and they will leave a recommended for no reason, or not recommended. They're useless. I mean, I got literally nothing from Steam curators, and 90% of them didn't even, they claimed the key, they didn't download the game, and they didn't even leave a recommended or a not recommended. 90% of them, which is around 100 and something keys. And then you've got to deal with the scam. There are people who actually send you emails claiming to be some YouTubers or some review group, and they're all people trying to get you keys. Okay, they usually have one more letter in their emails that that actually mixes with the name of the email, of the email address. So you need to look at the email address letter by letter to recognize whether it's a fake or not. And 90% were fake. So they get you the keys and they put them on those free sites like G2A, Kinguin, free giveaways, keys, all that shit. Even the curators. They set up groups so you can give them keys, and they take them and they put them on sales. Okay? They literally sell you the key. Okay? So whenever you buy a game from G2A, Kinguin and whatnot, please know that the key you are buying was not meant to be sold to you. Know this. Now you go on the site, it's different. I can talk with the people at the site. It's great. I'm having a good time with them. Sadly, I'm not Japanese, so you know how Japanese work, no? You know? If you're not Japanese, if you're not writing Japanese, they don't give a fuck about your game or your content. And there are also some strange rules. I actually had to remove 2 animation, one from the mutated dog over here, hentai, another from the boss because they resembled animals. Yes, this actually resembles an enemy, you know, the tentacle out of his ass. I actually had to remove them because Japanese people are allowed to sell this thing, but if you're a foreigner, you cannot sell this thing. So what? That's the stupidest law I ever heard in my life. Doesn't actually make sense. If I'm a foreigner, I cannot sell this thing, but if I'm a Japanese, I can sell this thing in Japan. This doesn't make any sense. Other than that, been a great experience. Still didn't make money because the game got pirated. I counted like 12,000 downloads on pirate sites, you know, for enter games. That didn't translate into sales. So by the way, Project Eve had 4 out of 5 stars ratings. By the way. So yeah, that's all I have to say. I mean, there's more to say, but look, this video is 26 minutes long. Let's be honest, you're not probably gonna watch even the first 2 minutes of the video. So yeah, don't be an indie developer. The truth is, the market is dead. Don't be an indie. Solo indie developer is dead. Don't be. Find someone else. Make games, don't put them on Steam. Make games, build a portfolio. Send your portfolio to a company and get a job there. Don't bother with a fucking indie developer career. Don't. Just don't look at the people on YouTube who actually say they are indie developers and they make money. Okay? Don't. You're not gonna be that guy. Even if it was true, you won't be that guy. Again, I know this sounds hard for you to swallow, but that's the truth. Indie gaming is dead. Okay? Thanks for watching, guys, and take care.